Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christus, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders over all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Awathium who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification. Lord's willing, it's be edifying. And this is news update, wars and rumors of wars. And how the war shall be fought, how shall World War III be fought? With intercontinental ballistic missiles. Lord willing, this be edifying.
Sanchez.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Sanchez. I want to welcome all of our viewers from all over the world, including those of you who are watching us on your phones using the free portable TV app. All right, so I want to begin with something that kind of puts things in perspective from just a day ago. Yesterday on this very show, we had a guest. He's a professor, a noted professor, Peter Kuznick, professor of history at American University. And what he said to us was, and he was very adamant about this, he was adamant about his fears that the Trump administration could conduct military strikes before the new Biden administration is sworn in January. In fact, I want you to hear him say it in his words. Here it is.
But I'm pretty terrified right now. Trump's behavior has been so erratic, so impulsive, so out of control, beginning with that first presidential debate, which he went storming around this stage there, and seemed to be completely out of control, up through behavior now, denying reality. This is a man who still has access to the nuclear codes and is going to have them for almost 2 more months. To me, that's much, much too dangerous.
We didn't think much of it when we heard him say it because others have perhaps postulated the same. However, less than 24 hours after conducting that interview, we're now hearing reports that the United States may be getting ready to strike Iran. And there are also reports that Israel may be kind of in on it. They have been preparing for this possibility of this said strike against Iran before Trump leaves office.
This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. I do not own the copyrights to these videos. This is for educational purposes only. Lord willing, this be edifying.
For quite some time, in fact. Now, are we talking about a war with Iran? Is that really what we're talking about before Trump leaves office? And if not, then we have to ask, what would it be? What shape would this take? These are obviously important questions. There's obviously a lot to drill down on, and we're going to do just that right here on The News with Rick Sanchez, where we believe it's time to do news again. All right, let's get started with the questions we think you'll be asking after watching this newscast. Are the United States, or could the United States and Israel be planning a strike on Iran? What's it like for those forced to flee that area we've been telling you about, Nagorno-Karabakh? And who are the U.S. elite? And are they trying to fool us, you and me? All right, Axios, the news outlet whose team of reporters has been breaking this story that we just told you about involving a potential strike against Iran. They cite sources that say that Israel has been preparing for this eventuality now for several weeks. So exactly what is it? It is, they write, the possibility that the U.S. will conduct a military strike against Iran before President Trump leaves office. Wow. RT correspondent John Huddy has prepared our first report.
For weeks, there have been rumblings about Israel possibly launching an attack on Iran, or maybe the Trump administration striking Iranian nuclear facilities in conjunction with Israel, and maybe even with Saudi Arabia's backing too. The website Axios reports that the Israeli army, the IDF, has been preparing for a possible U.S. military strike on Iran. Axios correspondent Barak Ravid in Tel Aviv, citing senior Israeli officials, reports that the, quote, Israeli government instructed the IDF to undertake the preparations not because of any intelligence or assessment that Trump will order such a strike, but because senior Israeli officials anticipate a very sensitive period ahead of Biden's inauguration on January 20th. Call that perhaps a watered-down warning of war, but with that in mind, Israel has long maintained it will not allow Iran to seek nuclear weapons and will not allow Iranian forces to entrench near Israel's borders. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed November 18th Israel had attacked Iranian Quds forces in Syria after the Israeli army uncovered roadside bombs in the Golan Heights linked to Iranian forces positioned there. A few days later, on November 22nd, Netanyahu reportedly flew to Saudi Arabia in what was a very secretive hush-hush meeting confirmed on background by U.S., Saudi, and Israeli officials to meet with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to discuss, among other things, Iran. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also reportedly attended that meeting while in Saudi Arabia for a final visit to the Gulf region before leaving office. And in what was widely seen as a show of force, perhaps even a warning to Iran, the U.S. deployed B-52 bombers to the region as all of this was going on. The bottom line, the battle drums have been rattling, but the question now, are they getting louder as a sign of a fight to come, or is it just business as usual?
You see, prophecies speaking every day, man. Prophecies are speaking every day. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and 45. It reads, Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Habashah, that he have taken against Babylon, and his proposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Who is the least of the flock that shall draw them out? Israel. Israel is the least of the flock that shall draw North America, Babylon the Great out to fight war, man. You see this? This is prophecy, man. Unfolding. And we are here to see it, man.
For the news with Rick Sanchez, John Huddy.
Hey, you see that? Let's get this. Now this video is titled Meet Russia's new S-600 and S-700 air defense missile system. Just gonna play some of this. Now this was April 26, 2019. We can kill that sound for right now. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It reads, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his works, and I have created the waster to destroy. This is Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and 25. It reads, the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans.
S-300 has interested them, the United States, he said Thursday on a current affairs talk show hosted by journalist Vladimir Soloviev. They had previously paid no attention whatsoever to some S-300. But now they're scared because Israel, the United States' close ally, is scared S-300s are nearby. Every jet, not just Israeli, every military jet may be destroyed. The Americans are scared in general. They are scared that the world's best air defense system is Russia's S-300. And we also have S-400, S-500, S-600, and S-700. We can shut down the whole planet, and no plane will be able to take off. The MP joke.
Hey, they said they can shut down the whole planet, man. Okay? These are the weapons of the Lord indignation, man. He created these weapons, man. He created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
The MP batted back the warning, claiming that the imaginary S-700 will block everyone at the launch points for good, and this will be the last blow of the Russian counter-air defense system. The Russian military rolled out the S-400 Triumph defense system in 2007. The S-400 was created on the basis of the Russian S-300 air defense systems, but has significantly better performance capabilities in terms of effectiveness, coverage area, as well as variety of targets. Initially, the S-400 was named the S-300 PM3, and it was intentionally designed to look like the S-300, so that the enemy could not recognize which system it was dealing with.
You see that? And the heads was the heads of lions, and the tails were like unto serpents. Let's get this. Hey, cause this finna kick off, man. Let's play some of this. This was November the 15th, 2020. First S-500 delivered to Iran. From who? You guessed it. The Guard, Russia. These intercontinental ballistic missiles are the weapons that the Lord is going to use for World War III.
The Iranian government has announced the delivery of the first S-300 long-range SAM item from Russia. This is the S-500 variant, designated by NATO as the SA-20B Gargoyle. It is a very lethal component of an integrated air defense system, with an effective range of over 100 miles, and able to reach targets in excess of 100,000 feet MSL. Russia has started to deliver the powerful Almaz anti-S-500 integrated air defense system to Iran, according to a top Kremlin official. The Iranians are receiving an upgraded version of the weapon called the S-500 Favorite. The contract is in action. They've begun, Vladimir Kozin, a Russian presidential aide for military technical cooperation, told Thetis news agency. Kozin's statement confirms an earlier report in which Iranian ambassador to Russia Mehdi Sanai said Tehran had received its first S-500 batteries. The S-500 Favorite has a range of more than 120 miles and can hit targets as high as 100,000 feet. The system can engage half a dozen or more targets simultaneously. Either version of the weapon is extremely capable and could render entire swaths of Iran nearly invulnerable to attack via conventional strike aircraft. As one senior U.S. Marine Corps aviator told me earlier in the year, the S-500 series is a deadly threat to everything except the most advanced stealth fighters and bombers. A complete game changer for all fourth-gen aircraft like the F-15, F-16 and F-A-18. That thing is a beast and you don't want to get near it, he said.
You see that? This is coming, man. They already here. Let's play this. This is October 18th, 2018. It said no warplane to take off. Russia S-700 missile can cover entire planet.
No warplane to take off. Russia's S-700 missile system can cover entire planet. Party leader. A leading Russian politician may have just revealed the biggest Russian military secret. Or just invented a non-existent weapon system while ranting about how powerful the country is during a political talk show. Vladimir Zhirinovsky, who is well known for his explosive speeches and eyebrow-raising claims, made his latest one during a talk show last week. He said Russia should double down on its decision to supply the S-300 long-range anti-aircraft missiles to Syria. The Americans are afraid that the entire world will see that the Russian S-300 system is the best in the world. And we also have the S-400, S-500, S-600, and S-700. We can cover the entire planet, and not a single warplane will be able to take off. The bragging was met with laughter by other guests while the host, Vladimir Solovyev, intervened to joke that Zhirinovsky should be careful not to disclose all of the secrets at once.
See, because another video, it said that it's possible that Russia has S-1500s, man. And you think if they selling S-3400s, S-500s, you think they're going to tell you what they really got, man? Who really going to open up their secrets, man? The Lord say Russia shall be a guard to the nations. So obviously, the Lord got Russia. That's that special weapon, man. And that's why the first video I played with RT News, showing you how Israel and U.S. trying to bomb Iran, man. Why? Because Russia is supplying them with S-300 systems, man. This is what World War III will be fought with, man. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're not making them just to keep them in their warehouses. No, man, so they can just sit in the silos. No, they're going to be shot off, man.
What if you tell us about the terrible S-1500 system that we know nothing about?
See? S-1500 system, man. You think they're going to tell you what they really got? No, man. Nobody get down like that and tell you all their business.
He said. Unfazed, Zhirinovsky assured that the S-700 would be the last one because it will shoot down every missile right at the launch site. The politician heads the LDPR party, which holds 40 seats in the Russian parliament. He has a long record of eccentric behavior that apparently appeals to the party voter base. Among his more incendiary statements is a suggestion that if Russian kids learned how to use a Kalashnikov rifle instead of speaking English language, the entire world will speak Russian. He also pledged that his hands will be in blood if he ever became president, and dictatorship is constipation, democracy is diarrhea, chose whatever you want. Despite the sometimes hateful and all too often insulting rhetoric, Zhirinovsky is mostly considered by critics a demagogue with a taste for crude jokes in place of policy ideas. At various times he suggested firing officials who weigh over 80 kilograms, banning birds from migrating to other countries, and allowing seismic refugees from Japan to settle freely in Russia's Far East. The S-300 and the S-400 are two generations of Russian long-range air defense systems meant to protect strategically important sites like key infrastructure objects, military units, or ballistic missile launch silos from enemy aircraft and missiles. An S-500 system is currently in development by Almaz-Antey and may have anti-satellite capabilities, according to open-source data. The existence of any systems with higher index numbers is either a closely guarded state secret that Zhirinovsky casually spilled to make a point, or just a figment of his imagination.
Oh no, it ain't no figment. The Lord giving these Job 924s this technology to do so, man. And if you don't believe this, you are bugged out. As I tell you in Malachi 4:1, it said, "A day cometh that when the earth shall burn as an oven." How the hell the earth gonna burn as an oven, man? What can make the earth burn as an oven. Let's read this. This is Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. What can make the earth burn as an oven, man? 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10 reads, But the day of the Lord Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. What noise? That boom, man, from the missiles. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. The Lord said everything on planet Earth, buildings, cars, everything that you can think of, you can see, is going to be dissolved. What manner of person are ye ought to be in all holy conversation, meaning conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And the saying is, these intercontinental ballistic missiles, the heat from them is over 1 million degrees, man. But nobody knows. If the Lord say everything shall melt with fervent heat, what can cause that? A day coming that the earth shall burn as an oven? What can do this?
Welcome back again, everyone. It's Dina Calmette here with CWW7 News. And for today's broadcast, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to go over some headlines concerning Israel and Syria, as well as the United States, Russia, and China. In fact, I'd like
to see this from September 21st, 2018. It's always about U.S., Israel, Russia, China. Okay, the main players, the main pieces on the Lord chessboard that he always move strategically, man, every day. But let's get some of this, what she finna say.
To start there. Apparently, tensions have escalated in the last 24 hours, considering the fact that the United States had placed sanctions on China for buying Russian military equipment.
See? Turkey got it, China got it, because Russia would be the guard to the other nations, man. Now, this is 2018. But what I just showed you on RT News, that's November 15, 2020, U.S. and Israel ready to go to war with Iran. You know, if they go to war with Iran, they will go to war with Russia as well, man. Okay? Because Russia and Iran is going hand in hand. It tell you that in Ezekiel 38, man. Okay? The same one that took down the Babylonians in the ancient time, which was the Medo-Persian Empire, the same ones are going to take them down again, man. Which is Iran and Russia, man. They're going to be joined together at the hip. It tell you in Ezekiel 38. Obadiah 1 and 7 say what? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. What does that mean, to bring you to the border? To do what? To fight, man. To go to war. It say all the men of that confederacy. So this telling you that all the nations that's joined to North America through the UN will separate. And Ezekiel 38 say Russia will be a guard to these nations, man. It tell you in Revelation 17. Okay? And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her naked and desolate, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, man. From what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles.
And now China and Russia are warning the United States of consequences over those sanctions. Moscow and Beijing.
And see, this is the thing, man. North America, Babylon the Great have been the bully on the schoolyard. As I always say, they always been the bully on the schoolyard with all these other nations, man. Putting sanctions on them. And these other nations are tired of it, man. And you ain't going to keep pushing around the little man on the schoolyard. Hey, bullies, eventually, they get their ass beat, man. Okay? They get beat up, man. And when they do get beat up, it be a real good one, man.
Lashed out Friday at Washington's new anti-Russian sanctions that also target China for the first time, warning the United States could face consequences.
This Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Be your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. They ain't weak no more, man. They are strong nations. It say prepare war. Let's get this. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5 reads, For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. That's how they fought in the ancient time. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. From what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Russia's deputy foreign minister stated that the United States is playing with fire, while Beijing voiced strong indignation over the move. United in their resentment of America's global influence, China and Russia have sought in recent years to tighten up their ties, and this month conducted a week-long joint military drills. Moscow.
And now, Iran has joined Russia and China. Okay, as the scriptures say, because the Lord can't lie, man. Numbers 23:19. Yahweh Bashim Awashai is not a man that they should lie, man. Neither the son of man that they should repent. Okay? For God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent, man. He said he have spoken it, man. And his word shall go and accomplish what he sent it to. What he sent it, man. Which is well over the four corners of the earth, man. What did it tell you in Revelation 20? Let's read this. It's Revelation chapter 20 and verse 7 and read the point. Verse 8 say, read verse 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the sea. Okay? They got to go to war, man. And it shall be fought with what? Burning and fuel of fire. Thus saith the Lord.
Moscow's largest ever war games. On Thursday, China, which is also locked in a trade war with Washington, got caught up in the sanctions war against Russia as the United States announced a new raft of measures that would punish third countries for dealing with Moscow, stepping up pressure on Moscow over its malign activity.
See, it's always about Putin, man. He's the key. He's the key. He's one of the major keys on Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua chessboard. Putin, Russia, Gog and Magog is one of the main chess pieces, man. Okay? Let's read it. Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua power, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, which is that old Soviet Union war mentality, man. Okay, that war mind state. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horse and horsemen. Same thing Joel and John said. Joel said in Joel 2, starting at verse 4, John the Revelator said in Revelation chapter 9, verse 16, man. Okay, he said, "And I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords." What's the swords? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. Persia, which is the Iranians, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company, that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Russia will be the guard to these nations. Here's a precept to back that up. Jeremiah 50:9 reads, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon the Great an assembly of great nations, from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." Intercontinental ballistic missiles.
The U.S. State Department said it was placing financial sanctions on the Equipment Development Department of the Chinese Ministry of Defense and its top administrator for its recent purchase of Russian Sukhoi Su-35 fighter jets and S-400 surface-to-air missile systems. Beijing on Friday urged the United States to withdraw sanctions or bear the consequences, stating that the U.S. actions have seriously violated the basic principles of international relations and seriously damaged the relations between the two countries and the two militaries.
See, this whole thing, man. Now let's check this out real quick.
What will happen if Turkey activates its S-400 missile system? Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan recently confirmed that the Russian air missile defense system is being tested. And this could only mean one thing. Turkey wants to make them operational as soon as possible. The S-400 is one of the most sophisticated surface-to-air missile systems in the world. It has a range of 400 kilometers and can shoot down up to 80 targets simultaneously.
400 kilometers. Now this from October 31st, 2020. Year of prophecy.
Including low-flying drones, aircraft at various altitudes, and long-range missiles. A battery placed on the Turkey-Syria border can engage targets as far as Damascus. The S-400 also allows Turkey to cover all of the Aegean and the Eastern Mediterranean. From the get-go, however, one country has strongly objected to Turkey's purchase of the Russian defense system.
Now see, Turkey done got them, China done got them, and Iran done got them from Russia, man. Russia, Gog and Magog shall be a guard to the nations, man. Revelation 9:12, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Revelation 11:14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. World War III, man.
The face of strenuous American objections, the first delivery of an advanced Russian air defense system.
We are against the having some of our partners and allies around the world potentially purchase S-400s.
Lead to potential sanctions.
Or doesn't want to risk the security of that partnership.
President Erdogan has slammed this as a double standard because Turkey's neighbor and fellow NATO member Greece operates an older version of the Russian defense system, the S-300. But no howls from Washington over that.
By the way, Greece has S-300s. They're not testing, they are using them. Does America ask or say anything there? No. How can we not test these kinds of capabilities we have? Of course we aren't going to ask America for permission.
Turkey is a key NATO member and one of the most important allies of the US in a volatile region where, let's be honest, defense is not just a policy but a necessity. And when Turkey needed to do some defense spending, naturally their first choice was their NATO ally.
He wanted to buy our Patriot missile, we wouldn't sell it. And then when he made and he really wanted to buy it. And then when he made a deal with another country, Russia, to buy their system that he didn't even want.
President Barack Obama's administration refused to sell the U.S. Patriot missile defense system to Turkey because of technology transfer concerns. And in 2015, over Ankara's objections, Obama pulled out Patriot missiles stationed in southern Turkey, saying they were no longer needed there. As a result, Ankara signed a deal with Moscow to buy its S-400 surface-to-air missile batteries for a reported $2.5 billion. After the purchase, there were calls for sanctions in the US, and questions were raised about Turkey's role in NATO.
The cooperation that NATO has with an important ally, Turkey, runs much deeper than the question of the Russian S-400 system.
Turkey says it would not pose a threat to the alliance, and that it had a sovereign right to purchase weapons of its choosing. And the Trump administration remains sympathetic, pushing back against efforts by lawmakers who wanted to punish Ankara. Even though there were no sanctions imposed, the US stopped supplying Turkey with the F-35 fighter jets.
Turkey wants to buy an S-400 missile defense system from Russia. It also wants to buy F-35 U.S. fighter jets. The Trump administration says it can't have both.
We are now telling Turkey that because you have really been forced to buy another missile system, we're not going to send you the F-35 fighter jets.
As things stand, the second largest army in NATO is about to deploy the S-400s in a neighborhood that is engulfed by terrorism, multiple wars, and now maritime disputes.
Hey, and there it is, man. Hey, so Lord willing be edifying. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders over all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Ark pushing the truth and believing in truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Watim who are listening and learning. A few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord willing, edifying till next time I say shalom.